Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I was unaware at the time when I made a video today about a massive pro-Palestinian protests in London. About 300,000 people. 300,000 people. I was unaware when I made this video right here. And this is, I made it this afternoon. I said we have no rights, only temporary privileges. Give police power to ban pro-Palestinian protests, question mark, because they're talking about it. They're talking about not allowing, but I didn't know what's going on. Well, this is what is going on right here. Roughly 300,000 people attend pro-Palestinian rally in London demanding ceasefire in Israel-Hamas war, source CNN. And here's the video, and as right there's the bridge right here, and it's full of people. 300,000 people, roughly 300,000 people attend pro-Palestinian rally in London demanding ceasefire in Israel. Now, the reason why obviously it's important. How can you stop 300,000 people with the police? Remember, these guys were crying about the insurrection in January 6th. With what? 5,000 people? How many were over there? Imagine these guys say, you know what? We want to take over, let's say, Great Britain. Who will stop them? They can do that in a second if they just are maneuvered and commanded. You do a little bit of crowd control with some little guys infiltrated, which they were on all sides. Those guys would have gone and just stormed the parliament. And not only, if they really wanted, Buckingham Palace would have been in flames. If someone really wanted. And it was peaceful. Mostly. Why? Because we have here an article coming from the Telegraph telling us that about 100 people were arrested during those things, right? And they blame it on the far right. Who blames this on far right? And not only on the far right, they have a name for the far right, and that is the home security, house security. What's her name? Home secretary. Her name is Braverman. All right. So London violence direct result of Braverman words, says Khan. Well, she said many things. I'm not going to cover it, but let me just read you maybe two paragraphs, the first two, and then I will focus on something that I guess you wouldn't expect. What's that? You'll see. A row broke out on Saturday over who was responsible for ugly scenes on the street of London as Sadiq Khan, that is the mayor of London, the capital's mayor, accused Suellen, because that's what I say from Dallas. I read a little bit about her. She was named after Suellen. I would have named after JR. That he was my favorite in all that. When I was a kid, the communists played Dallas for a little bit. The movie, whatever it was. And after they didn't want to pay anymore, the Americans, so they didn't broadcast anymore. Even though Dallas kept going, we were told in Romania that is over. When it was, if you remember, if you're familiar with Dallas, that episode when they found someone dead in the swimming pool. And it was the end in Romania for Dallas under communist times. And said, well, it's over. Dallas just ended. And everybody's like, what? Who died? Well, who died? We didn't know. It was Bobby, it was JR. Anyway, my favorite, after that I watched a few and even some other things. JR was my favorite. I think without JR, Dallas would have been just a for me. I don't know. So here we have Suella steering up the far right, not far left, far right. Why? Because of her statements. Mr. Khan said violent clashes involving counter-protesters. Are they far left? What are they? Because you quickly knew that those guys are far right. So what were the other ones? Counter-protesters. They don't, because that's the spin. Were a direct result of the Home Secretary's words after she had accused the Metropolitan Police of bias towards pro-Palestinian mobs. Now let me see. Let me show you this. What was interesting for me, and I'm going to tell you. I know Suela, and it was interesting. Suela is like the homeland security person. That's what Suela is. And this is Suela, right there. She's British, and she is for Indian origin. Nothing wrong with this. Don't get stupid ideas. I will tell you if something is wrong, okay? I'm just pointing out facts. And some people can ask questions. It's not illegal. So she's of Indian origin. Good for her. Smart woman, right? Then you have Sadiq Khan. He's the mayor of London. He is right here. He is a Sunni Muslim family, migrated to London from the British India to Pakistan. So he is Pakistani, whatever he is, right? I don't want to be too politically incorrect because I don't want to, you know? But okay, I'm going to say it. And the third one, Rishi Sunak. This is the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. Now, what's his origin? Not that it matters. He is right here. Parents of Indian Punjabi descent. So you have a British Prime Minister of Indian origin. Ignore the Punjabis this, Pakistanis, blah, 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 okay? And then you have the mayor of the biggest city in most important town, I would say, in Great Britain. He is from the same region. Oh, I found that weasel word. And then you have, she is in charge of this, home secretary. Home secretary, more commonly as the home secretary. So the state for the home department. Okay, so she is from India. Nothing wrong with that. Isn't that strange? It's like, let's say you live in, I'm just giving you an example. You live in Romania and you have 3 French people. One is the prime minister, the other one is the chief of, let's say, FBI, Romanian FBI, and the other one is what? The mayor of Bucharest, the capital, of 2.5 million people. Like, hey, Lithuania. Strange? I think it's strange, don't you think? But anyway, I understand, blah, blah, blah. But isn't it, why don't we have, I don't know, you say, well, they were, these guys were colonizers and the empire and all that. But they're very at the power structure. All 3 of them. And they're arguing now, a Muslim with a Hindu, with whatever the other guy is. Anyway, my point, this was an extra. My point is 300,000 people. 300,000 people. You know what? That's enormous. Enormous. And why do I say that? You can't stop those guys. If a stampede starts towards the Big Bang, whatever, that's all over. And they were mostly peaceful. There were some people far right, instigated by some counter-protesters, don't know who they were, we don't know what flags they were. No, but they were just provoked. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm guessing only the far right did it, because they went and say, he's a far right, and yet you're a far right. He got the information. All of them were far right, and they were instigated by Miss what's her name, Suellen. I checked her husband, not like that, but I checked her husband. I tried to find some connections, and he, you know what kind of connections I tried to find out by the name. And he is the guy in charge of Mercedes, Mercedes-Benz in the England or Great Britain. And that was enough for me. I said, Mercedes, thank you very much. You're innocent. Yeah. So this is it, my friends. 300,000 people. Now, if those 300,000 people would have been in, let's say, Washington, D.C., what do you think would have happened? The same thing. Would not have escalated to anything else. Probably they would have gone and do a little bit more destruction. But insurrection. An insurrection without the military and the guns, and there were no guns over there. I mean, if you want to really organize an insurrection, you don't go with your hands in your ass, and you go with a flag, and you with a pepper spray. You put your feet over her, you do much more than that. Why? Because I've seen insurrections. You can look, you can read about them. I watched, all right? What happened? An insurrection was, for instance, in Romania, if you want to look at that way, in 1989. Certain departments with guns turned around. They did not follow orders, they followed other orders. And there was an insurrection, and there were shooters. Pop, 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 boop, 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 boop. And but there what? Who killed whom? That guy, the Capitol Police officer shot, what her name? Not Baerbock, but what's her name? Close to the name. Remember? Shot her, boom, without shooting. Hey, I'm gonna shoot, boom, boom, boom. And now, no, straight, boop, bam. Was he indicted? No, scot-free. You can't do that. You can't do that. Anyway, maybe you can in a free world like United States of America, but I'm kidding. Anyway, my friends, these guys lost. When I say these guys, I'm talking the guys who try to keep the lead over the reality and truth. They can't stop those guys. Even if they say, put the police over there. If those 300,000 decide to do squat, you can't bring the military. 300,000 is more than the British military, I think, I would guess. So, my friends, they lost. They lost and they know it. With all the spin they give us in the articles, with all the, they draw the attention here, take our attention from here. Hey, no, don't look over there, look over here. This is the spin. It's not that what happened. It's something what we tell you should focus on. The lies on the mass media and the mainstream media. They compete because they lost it over there too. They lost the information war. And here, those people showing up for that, well, nothing will happen. Remember what happened in France with the so-called pension reform? Nothing. They showed up, 1 million in one day in different towns, or 2 million, I think it was. What happened? Nothing. Macron put the signature in, bypassed the assembly, National Assembly, whatever it's called, the parliament, and became law, legally. Even though 80% in opinion polls were against the pension reform. He said, I decide. Why? Because that's how democracy works, right? No. One person decided for everybody else, bypassing the parliament. What is that? French democracy. I mean, it was exactly like that. And the Constitutional Court said, hey, it's legal. That's how it's written in the Constitution. He didn't do anything wrong. And he didn't. But how come that exists? One decide for the elected officials. One. Strange, don't you think? Yeah, to say the least. So they lost it. They lost the information war. And they have too much diversity, too much strength. And that diversity in these countries, you can't fool them. Why? Because they have direct contact and memory with the past. They know what happened. So you can say how much you want. These guys are saints. Those guys are devils. They know more than that. Some of them direct experience. Some of them, living there, not necessarily being directly involved in certain things. And some people, the story goes. So these guys lost. That's the consequence of certain policies promoted by the group that now, what are we doing? Oh my God, you got too many of them in. What are you going to do? I don't know. You have to join them. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to join them. But it's okay. United States will cover for those guys over there, and nothing will happen until United States said so. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.